Are you serious? Are you serious? Fireballs, huge fireballs falling in Missouri. We have eyewitnesses from our online church that's seen it, but it was also reports everywhere. This happened last night. We're going to tell you about that just a second. Also, today I'll be going live for our regular Wednesday broadcast that's starting at 12 noon, and a tribute to Russ Dizdar, my good friend, who's went on to be with the Lord. And what a man he was. What a warrior for the gospel of Jesus Christ. This is probably the bravest preacher that I know on and that I've ever been in contact with, as he was not afraid to shatter the darkness. We'll tell you all about Russ and prayers going up for his wife and family. Also, let me just say right now, guys, www.agewithpaul.com. That's www.agewithpaul.com. Guys, I don't look that bad. I'm almost 60 years old. Think about it. And maybe some of this great product, okay, using turmeric in such a way that gives you that added reducing of inflammation, making you feel happier. Maybe it's the joy of the Lord, along with agewithpaul.com. That's www.agewithpaul.com. Check it out, guys. You'll be glad you did. All right. So here we go. Huge fireball. Oh, by the way, I'm back here in the villages in Florida. And so don't forget, tonight, I'll be co-hosting with my good friend and co-pastor at Freedom Fellowship, Pastor Melvin Weddington. We will be in the saddle again tonight. We'll be doing a live broadcast over at ffctv.info. That's ffctv.info. You don't want to miss it. Melvin is always putting together a great broadcast. We're going to get together, and don't miss that tonight. It starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. So this huge fireball fell in Missouri. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what was said according to the reports. Now, one of our online members, Bob and Lisa, Deacon Bob and Lisa, I won't give you their last name just to protect them, but this huge meteorite, comet, fireball, something over southwest Missouri. I think I said central Missouri, but I meant southwest Missouri. And here's what they're saying. Bob and Lisa said, look, I am one of your Patreon followers and was just sitting on our couch here in central Missouri. Okay, central Missouri. We live about 45 miles north of Lake Ozark, and that's 15 miles north of Versailles, Missouri. Sugar, are we going to growl today? Oh, are we going to bark? Okay. I just saw a burning object fall at 8:13 p.m. Central Time. 8:13 Central. It was coming straight down on a bearing that was just so slightly west of due south. It went too fast past the window for me to get a picture. I'm so sorry. It looked like an enormous, elongated teardrop falling straight down. It filled the entire window pane. If I had to guess, this was a huge rock. It was burning bright green at the bottom and side. So it was burning bright green from the bottom and the side, and at the top, pointy trail like a top of a teardrop. It was glowing deep crimson red. I called the sheriff's office and put them on alert. My next thought was to contact you guys, and maybe you'll have more information about this. Well, we have checked into it. There has been numerous reports of this meteor falling and in Missouri, seen all across Missouri, but I have not yet been able to find any video of it or pictures, although I would say in the next day or two, it's going to pop up and for you guys. But let me just also say to you while we're talking about this, over at spaceweather.com, here's what they're saying right now, that the Orionid meteor shower, or Orionid meteor shower, the Earth is entering the stream of debris from Halley's Comet. This happens every year during this annual meteor shower. Now, forecasters are expecting the shower to peak tomorrow morning, October 21st. Interference from the Hunter's moon, which was real bright last night, guys. If you noticed it, it was incredibly bright. Heidi and I were out and just said, wow, look at that moon, how bright and how visible it was. But anyway, this reduced the number of meteor rates from the usual 20 to about 5 every hour because the moon was so bright. But Oklahoma storm chaser Paul Smith photographed a lot of sprites, these red sprites, hundreds of them last night in the sky over in Oklahoma, while meteorites were also, fireballs were also being seen through the sky, small ones, that dart across real fast. But that's not what Bob and Lisa saw over there in Missouri. They got to see a real huge fireball, a piece of a meteorite, an actual meteorite coming down into the Earth's atmosphere and really, really causing a scene over there in central Missouri. Now, matter of fact, last night there were 37 fireballs similar to the one that Bob and Lisa saw in Missouri throughout the world. Every night, a network of NASA all-sky cameras scans the skies above the United States for meteor fireballs. An automated software maintained by NASA's Meteoroid Environment Office calculates their orbits and the velocity and the penetration, how deep into the Earth's atmosphere, and many other characteristics on a daily basis. And matter of fact, there was 37 of them last night. One of those had to have been the one in Missouri that Bob and Lisa saw. Now, speaking about these things, as I've been telling you, there was a 3-day period there where we had 5 asteroids that near missed the Earth, not meteorites now, asteroids. Well, that hasn't stopped. It hasn't slowed down. We had another one on October the 16th on Saturday night. That one barely missed us. I'm talking scrape, 0.1 lunar distance from the surface of the Earth. Less than 18,000, 19,000 miles from the planet's surface. Unbelievable how close they're getting. They're grazing us one after another. Matter of fact, then on Monday night, we had another one just went by. This one was 8 meters in diameter. It missed us by 0.7 lunar distance. Last night, we had one a little further out, but 1.3 lunar distance. We're starting to call those, don't worry, because they're a little bit further than the moon. Guys, these are so close. A fraction, if their orbit was just a fraction, one or the other, they could be direct hits to the Earth. You can't dodge them all forever. And so we know there's many more to come. The skies are filled with asteroids, meteorites, near-miss objects of the Earth, comets. It just doesn't end. We just went through that debris field from the comet Inky just not long ago, a few days ago. That was quite extraordinary. I remember Comet Inky. The reason Comet Inky was a big deal in prophecy a few years ago, and I covered it, and actually WorldNet Daily even covered my revelation on it, is because Inky went by the Earth during the Feast of Tabernacles. We got very, very close during the Feast of Tabernacles. And I made a point that, the Bible tells us there shall be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars, and the stress of nations with perplexity. The sea and the waves will be roaring, and men's hearts will fail them for fear, for looking after those things. Do I have my mic on right? After those things coming up on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. Is anybody awake out there? Something biblical's going on here, folks, with the signs of the second coming of Christ. And I want people to be ready before it's too late. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, don't forget, it has arrived. Aliens, angels, and demons. Are you serious? Aliens, angels, and demons has arrived. What a lineup of speakers on here. L.A. Marzulli, William Henry from Ancient Aliens, Mr. MBB333, He's incredible. Steve Quayle was amazing in this. Rex Bear had some tremendous information. Laura Eisenhower, the great-granddaughter of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Mike from around the world, always incredible information there. Avi Loeb, he was the Harvard professor who wrote the book on the Uma that went from that interstellar object went through. Avi Loeb, I interviewed him, and he has written a New York Times #1 bestseller on this subject, and now speaks all. He believes that thing was actually an alien craft. Myself, I brought a presentation forward. It wasn't too bad. Mine was on demons, Jesus, dealing with demons, and then Pastor Melvin Whittington on the angels and how angels operate. So we needed some of that in there. Also, BC Begley, my son Bart, brought a great documentary together. This is a great DVD. And I tell you what, it comes in one case, 11 DVDs. 11 DVDs. This is nice, okay? And I asked him, I said, put this together really, really nice for people so that they can get their own DVD set. This is for your library. You need this, okay? You need this. All 11 DVDs. You need them for your collection. No doubt about that, okay? So I want you to get this now. Go and get yours right now. Go to my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. Aliens, angels, and demons. Get yours today. I think it's very important you do that. I am very, 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 very enthused about it. Now, I got to say something else about this too. People have been saying, Pastor Begley, will silver help us in such a time as this? The answer is yes, yes, and again, yes. So if you go to my website right now, we have available for you all of the silver. This is the immune support silver. This is what I do every day, and that is I take, here I have it around my desk. I take, just like this. I do this every morning. Take a swig, dance a jig. Okay, stay healthy. All right, and that's what I do. Really is good for you. Silver, so get that. We have that available, and that's really good. It's tasteless, by the way. It tastes just like water, but what it's doing, it's feeding them cells and helping your immune system. And then we've also got the toothpaste. Now, this is, as a matter of fact, Agent 2020, his wife says this is the best toothpaste on the market. And the reason is it's wintergreen, it's nice wintergreen flavor, but the silver in there really kills off, really takes care of some of that bacteria and stuff. So I have to be careful what all I say here. So I'll say it, but it's natural. That's what's so neat about this. Natural silver wintergreen toothpaste. We have it available at our website. I just want to make that known, because some people didn't even know we had silver. Some folks don't even know we even have it available because I never really talk about it. So today I thought I would. And then there's this amazing, this is what really got us through World War II. The silver gel, where they used to rub the silver gel right on the wounds of the soldiers. This really got us through World War II. This product right here, it may inhibit the growth of microorganisms within the dressings. So it's a great, great, great product. I want to tell you guys about that. And then last, was that it? Is that all I got of silver? Seemed like I had something else. One, two. Oh, no. Probably the best of all. The lozenges with the Manuka honey in it. Wow. And with all these supply chains that are running out of everything, I'm hearing already pharmacists are now not able to get supplies. They can't get some of the medications people need. But besides that, they can't get, products like this. Forget it. They're not going to get any of this stuff. And so some of the stuff they put out there are just not really that great. So I wanted to make this available to you guys today. Felt like I should, since I haven't talked about it in months. I mean, months. And this is the season, okay? This is the time of year where the sore throats and the coughs and sneezes and all kinds of stuff, and you need a little boost in your immunity, and you need a little help in case throat gets a little scratchy. You put one of those lozenges in, it goes away almost like instantaneously. Ask anybody out there. Some of you are out there right now. You can ask anybody out there. Amen. Now, let me tell you what I'm going to do. Well, when I come back here, oh, by the way, if you go to this main YouTube channel, if you go there, you'll see that if you go to my channel, go to Paul Begley Prophecy YouTube channel, at the very top is the featured video that I put up there, whatever I'm featuring. And what I've done is I went back into the archives and have decided to feature 5 years ago an interview I did with Russ Dizdar on the Warlock of Washington. On the Warlock of Washington. He actually went to Washington State to confront a warlock who had put a spell to try to kill his daughter. And Russ Dizdar went and confronted him. Now, as I said, Russ was the kind of guy, he cast out a lot of demons, he took on a lot of devils, and he made a lot of enemies in the kingdom of darkness. You can know that. But he was not afraid to shatter the darkness. He was a humble man of God, and he was a great preacher. And I remember one time he preached a message. He preached the entire book of Revelation. I believe it was in a conference. I can't remember which conference. It was a Hear the Watchman conference. He was one of the speakers. I don't know if this was in Dallas, Texas, or if it was in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm just not sure which location it was in. But Russ Dizdar got up and started in Revelation chapter 1 and preached the entire book of Revelation. He went chapter to chapter, giving you an overview of every chapter under the Spirit of God and the power of God as he preached. It took him 2.5 hours. And it was, I won't say one of, it was the greatest message I ever heard from the book of Revelation. And I really, really learned a lot. As a matter of fact, it's inspired me to work on a book I'm working on right now that I believe will be a very, very important blessing to so many. And for such a time as this. So anyway, I want you to lift up his wife in prayer. Shelly's a wonderful lady. She is a wonderful, wonderful woman, a wonderful lady. And she is in the hospital as we speak, also with COVID, and has been very, very ill herself. So that family really needs our prayer. Russ Dizdar, a very, very good friend of mine. He came to Indianapolis. So the Warlock, the Warlock in Washington. You need to watch this. It's a 2-part DVD, or a 2-part YouTube video. So I'm putting part 1 up right now. I featured it, and tomorrow I'll feature part 2. But it's a great interview. I did it in front of a live audience with Russ Dizdar. In front of a live audience, I interviewed him 5 years ago. And wow, in Indianapolis, Indiana. So I love all you guys. I'll be back. We'll be back at 12 noon with a live broadcast. Cover all the current world events going on around the world, including a special tribute to my good friend who's went on to be with the Lord, Pastor Russ Dizdar. God bless. Give your life to Jesus Christ, folks. If you don't think, look, remember I said this Sunday night. And then Russ died Sunday night. I started naming all of the prophecy preachers that God had taken home in the last 5 years or so. I mean, the list is unbelievable. And as I was going through that list Sunday night during a live broadcast, I had no idea that Russ Dizdar was going to die that same night. I didn't find out till Monday morning that he passed. So again, another one of God's generals in the end time being taken home early before his prime. Is it because of the woes and the sorrows and the things that are coming upon the earth that God is saying, I'm not going to spare Russ. Russ, I'm going to spare you from the anguish that's coming. Sort of like he did with Josiah. I mean, God said, okay, Josiah, thank you for cleaning up the house of God, exposing the darkness, tearing down the idols. Now I'm taking you home early because I don't want you to be here with the judgment that I'm going to put on the children of Israel for their disobedience. I'm taking you home early. Is that what's going on right now with guys like Russ Dizdar leaving this world and Kim Clement and on and on and on? Give your life to Jesus Christ, folks. We're running out of time. Are you saved?